Now, let us look at the issue of a mentally free person and a mentally bonded person. All human beings are born free. And one thing that the one that we are made of and the laws of the universe has granted humanity for free is free will, the freedom of choice. And so we are given a mind, and by the power of our minds, we make choices. And as we make the choices, each choice has its consequence. The right choice brings the right outcome. The wrong choice also brings about the wrong outcome. And so the right choices brings the right outcomes. The human beings looked at it and we say that is God's blessings. That's fair enough. And then the wrong choices brings about hardship, difficulties, challenges, pain. And then mankind or humanity looks at it and say, oh, it is the curses, it is the work of the devil, Satan, attack of the enemy. But there is nothing like that. We are all creating our own realities. And as a matter of fact, there is no force or power outside you that is fighting against you or working against you, except you working against yourself. For the ignorance of who you are, or for the ignorance about who you are and what God and the whole universe is and the role you play in the scheme of things. You see? And so to be free-minded person is the one is to first establish the truth, the fact, organize your life on the basis that you are God incarnate and God is supreme. Nothing has power over God. And as a God in the human body, no other thing, no other one can affect you, except you give them the chance. And that is the only permission that you give. The permission you give is by accepting or establish that belief that this or that can hurt you. You bring it into your life, but know that there is something that is fighting you, you see. And so to be an independent or a free mind, someone who has a free mind that is not in bondage, is to establish this fact that you are the creator of your own realities. And therefore, when you make choice, or when you make a choice, and the choice happens to bring a negative effect, you are not afraid of anyone. You don't attribute it to any entity, anyone outside you. But you take actions and you take a responsibility and accountability for your choices. And therefore change your thinking, change your thought process, and think the other way to change or to correct the situation. And in that case, you are not afraid of anyone. You don't entertain the thought of anything. You don't think, you don't have the belief that God is punishing you. You don't have the belief that there is some ancestors, there are some gods, there are some powers somewhere that are taunting or haunting you. But you know that everything in this universe is according to law. And whoever obey the law will get the right results. Whoever disobey the law will get the wrong result. And so when you look at that, this is the only time that a person is considered as a free-minded person. He thinks only what he or she wants to think without being limited by any form of law, any form of dogma, taboos, or whatever. And so when you look at this, the other side of it is a bonded mind. And as a bonded mind, and as a matter of fact, all of us, almost every human being is living in bondage because we have beliefs which are rooted in punishment. And therefore, we are like people who are walking and looking over their shoulders. We are afraid. If I don't do this, this will happen. If I don't do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. And therefore, you are limited in your choices. You are limited in your thinking on how to move yourself forward. This is the universal truth. So analyze your life and you will see that You are not a free mind. Your mind is not free. If you are a human being and you are afraid of the attack of evil forces, and therefore your preoccupation, your prayer, your everything is to do something to protect yourself, you are more or less like someone who is walking and looking over his or her shoulder. You are afraid. Anything that brings about a fear, worry, anxiety in your life, it puts you in a state of bondage. Whether it is your religious regulations, whether it is anything or the government or whatever, you are in bondage. You cannot think as an independent and free thinker. You see, and so to be an independent and free thinker is to establish the belief and the fact that you are the creator of your own reality. You are a God on earth here. And therefore, no one can do anything to a God. And therefore, the only thing or person that can do anything to you is yourself. And therefore, you are going to take accountability and responsibility for your choices, for your thinking. And therefore, when anything happens, you take the right steps. That is by reorganizing your thinking pattern and think the opposite into being. When it comes that way, you don't go about chasing people, blaming people. Going from one point to the other, seeking prayers, going to men of God, going to malams and other things that you are looking something to protect yourself. You don't need any protection physically other than the protection in your mind. If you are protected in your mind, you'll be protected outwardly. And the protection you have in your mind is to have a free mind, that you are thinking in alignment, in cooperation with the forces of the universe, in cooperation with God. And when you do that, you keep on expanding. You see. And so even we know in this world that, in our physical world, especially in the scientific world, that we do exploration. Without exploration or without experiment, nothing comes into being. We will never discover anything. Without any or even the greatest scientist going into the laboratory to perform experiment, that scientist will never be considered as the greatest a scientist. And so it is your life. You are here to explore. You are here to experiment. And by mixing the clay, the mortar and mortar, we begin to discover new things. Your life is like a potter at the wheel. If you look at how the potters do their job, sometimes they will mold the thing out to a point, then they destroy it, or they pull it down, and then they begin again. It is by repeated attempts that he or she eventually arrive at a beautiful and a wonderful shape. And then later on you go and stand here and say, oh, this is beautiful, I want to buy it. It is the same thing. You are the creator of your own realities, but you must experiment without fear, without worry, without fear of anything. God is not punishing you. There is nothing outside you that is punishing you. And therefore you are experimenting. And even if it goes to the other way, you take it as an attempt to reorganize your thinking process and then recreate. So you have the power and ability to create and recreate your life at will for the better. Or you can leave it to degenerate, and it will be worse and worse and worse. And so be a free-minded person, and that is not to hold any limiting belief, not to hold any belief or perspective that is limiting you in your free thinking. And when all of us do that, we'll discover, or we will bring the potentials and the possibilities that are buried in us, and all of us will glow, all of us will grow and to blossom and to show the glory, the beauty of God that God is seeking to express through all of us. Thank you.